What do you do? Introduce yourself. Get to know each other. Have you finished your 10 people? Kindly move around. Connect with as many as you can. Make them feel welcome. Are you able to do that? Please do. You are missing the chat. I like those who are even hugging. All right. You have 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You may now take your seats. You may now take your seats. Thank you once again. You may now take your seats. Kindly take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. As we take our seats, please take your seats. There is someone I need to ask to welcome. And if a few of you are still standing, you will not see them. We have been joined, I think, last evening. Someone who is into digital business extension from Kenya. Can you please stand up for recognition and a warm welcome? Maybe wave. Where are you, sir? Okay. Oh, over. Time, sir, you can wave again. Is over there. Thank you. You're welcome. Again, all of you are most welcome. Asante sana to all of you. I want to thank Madam Connie. Yesterday, she moderated us very well. Let's again appreciate her. Thank you, and thank you again. Now today, this is what we are going to go through. Let me go through the program briefly. And you do also already have a copy of the program. And you can go, let me open the page. Page 16. Page 16 of your program booklet, please. We are in a moment going to be reflecting on how yesterday was, after which we shall have a presentation from Professor Ogenga, who is already here. We'll be welcoming him in a special way from Ruforum. After him, if there is room, I will invite another person also to present. And after that, we shall go for our interactive, but the interaction is going to be at the exhibition booths, okay? You shall pick your coffee, your bites, but make sure you can carefully, as you take your tea, also visit those exhibition booths that are here today. I'd like to thank the exhibitors for the great job that you've done so far. And I want to encourage all of us to maintain that spirit of making sure you visited each and every one of the exhibitors and you've learned from them. You can get a card or share your card and do business together hereafter. We also want to remind you that the medical desk is still open. I believe by 10:30, if you want just to check your vitals, maybe you don't feel so well, maybe you have a headache, maybe you got some food poisoning, please, as it can be, you can go up there and be helped. So that will be the tea break and also exhibition and networking moment. Now from 10:30, we shall all be welcome to go to different, we've called them workshops, where we shall have focused time on each of the sub-themes. And we shall have, we've already indicated, and I think by the time, before we go to break, we shall again remind you the rooms where these meetings are going to be. So please again take time look at the different workshops, the focus, look at the presenters below and the topics, and you are free now to choose where you will go. We expect during that time each of us to find a place to go and exchange more, listen in more. After the presentations, a minimum of 2, there will be a lot of Q&A discussion and also a panel discussion which deepens our understanding of each of these themes. Just to remind you that the first workshop will be focusing on valuable, effective agriculture extension and advisory services. It is about the question of how can we make ourselves indispensable, like our colleague challenged us yesterday. And then the second one will focus on resilience, given the many shocks that we're experiencing these days, climate change, price challenges, locusts, and so on. That one will focus on that, and so if you are interested, again, you are welcome to join that sub-theme. The third one will focus on food safety and agro-export trade. The fourth one will focus on the private sector agriculture extension, while the last one will focus on women and youth and how they've leveraged digital technology to serve them better. Again, the presentations are indicated there, so feel free to go through and identify yourself with where you want to go. Now, as I said, after the presentation, there will be a brief Q&A and then a panel discussion. And within the panel, I believe there will be a lot of deepening appreciation of the theme and what needs to be done. Now, that should take us up to lunchtime, which should start at 1. And during lunch, again, it's a moment for you to network with colleagues you have not yet interacted with. At 2, we'll again have what we call side events. The first side event will focus on agroecology for resilient agriculture. And that is going to be led by what we call the GIPI SAYEP project, which is an agroecology project supported by IFRAS and the European Union. And again, that will be in Myenga room 1, but I think I'll come back on those rooms because there's a bit of change. The second side event is hosted by PELAM, and let me take this opportunity again to appreciate PELAM. And a representative from PELAM, that we salute you in a very, very special way. And a representative from PELAM. Okay, not yet, but I think they'll be here. So PELAM will focus on women and youth in ag digitization. Then the third side event will be hosted by AFAS. It is supposed to be on private sector extension. Is that the one that has been withdrawn? Okay, we'll find out. And then the fourth will focus on the PESA model by Kelimo Trust. And they are ready for us, those of you who will choose to go there. And the last one, I think, is the one that has been cancelled. But otherwise, there will be 4 side events, especially hosted by one of us. I believe when you go there, you shall be very well treated, but also there will be a lot to learn and a lot to go back home with. And that should bring us to the evening, where we shall have our tea break, but also to be followed by a culture gala. And again, we will be telling you where that shall be held. Please don't miss the culture gala. Again, it's a moment to lighten up, interact more, and have a break from busy life that we all lead. With that, allow me to request you around your table to go around, and each of you is going to share one thing that really you are happy with about yesterday, or that you learned yesterday. Okay? What was the key thing that you took away that you can be able to appropriate or put in practice when you go back to your place of work? What you learned, what made you feel it was worth coming to this meeting. So that lesson learned, thank you. That lesson learned, set of ideas should be written down by each table, and then I'll request a few random tables to give us the learning that they received. So am I clear? So again, around your table, one by one, share with each other what you picked, what touched you, what was impressive, what you learned from the first day yesterday. So we have about 15 minutes for this. Could you please start? One of you can serve as a moderator to help make sure each of you has had a chance to say something. So I'm now looking forward to hear more noise, more noise, and then we'll come back to invite the first speaker. So could you please go around and discuss? What did you learn from yesterday that made a difference for you? You know, I'm looking at the tables. Some tables are yet to start. Unless if all of you are totally new, that can be understandable. I have also requested you to write down those lessons. So each table will have to write down their lessons, which we will collect and capture for our report, which I believe you get a copy. Okay. Thank you so much for your participation. Now I'm going to do what we call harvesting. Basically, I'm going to choose a few random tables, not all of us. And each table will tell us, share with us one key lesson. Please note that if a lesson has been mentioned, don't say it again. Is that clear? So it means that as we listen, we pay attention so that we don't repeat. So, Andrew, sorry, I see you are busy, but are you able to pass on the mic? Or someone else can help? Irene will help. We need 2 people. Maybe Isaac, you can also help on this side. There are several mics there. So, which group wants to be the number 1? One idea per table. Not all the tables, but good. Please give to 1 point, 1 good point. Only 1. Can we please listen to our colleagues so that we avoid repeating what they've said? Thank you. It's not on. You can use this.
Good morning, everyone.
Good.
So, just 1 point. 1 point that we would like to mention is how the extension department in Uganda is very committed in extension, and how they want to solve the development issues by supporting the extensionists by remunerating. Yeah, we don't have many points, but one of the...
Thank you so much. Her point is that they were impressed by how much the so much for that observation made by the team that also has visitors from Madagascar. Thank you so much. Next, I'll go by a show of hand. Thank you. Good.
Good morning, team.
Good morning.
What came on our table yesterday was from Dr. Nadi, where he pointed out key issues that are affecting the continent. Change, where he said that the climate change is becoming an issue, and therefore the issue of extension must come in, and the challenges of soil exhaustion. The soils are getting depleted. The soils are no longer giving us much yields, and therefore this calls for an extension. And he also pointed out
that's
increase.
Enough. It was supposed to be 1. And thank you. Please, Irene, as you take away the mic, you get their notes. Thank you. Hand in the notes that you wrote down.
Our point is about the commitment of government to involve the private sector in strengthening the extension system, both crop and livestock.
That was a highlight.
Yes.
Please, thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Okay, who is next? Which group is ready? Isaac, where are you, sir? Okay, already. Good.
I'm Hambate Ayoleka from Chenjojo.
1 point, please.
As farmers, we don't need to wait for the extension workers to come to us so that they can deliver the service. But for us, we have to look for them.
Okay.
Before they come to us.
And organize the matoke after serving you to go away with, isn't it? Matoke and something on that table, and then we'll swing this way.
Good morning. My name is Samuel Waswa. One of the points we took away yesterday is that improving the way we present ourselves as private extension workers. improving the pitching of the services we do, so that the farmers can know that Samuel does this and this and this, so that then people can pay for the services we offer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Packaging ourselves, being able to market the services. Thank you so much for that. Over here, sir.
Yeah, thank you. This is Kabasi. Mine from day one was...
Is it yours or your group?
Yeah, our group, sorry, my group members. Yeah, from our table, we've cited the number of points, but since you've said one, we've decided to go with this one of food safety. And this one, we go to realize it from Mr. Kaya, who say that PHH is harvest, that is PHH, the way they harvest, storage, and the rest is not all that good, hence leading to bad kind of result on the market. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Of course, we're talking about what we learned, but I'm reminded Madam Connie also was challenging us to think about what to do. But that one we shall handle on Friday, okay? For now, what did we learn? I've not seen any ladies, only one lady. Okay? Yes, sir? Okay.
The members have agreed that what really caught them was that the current research is not adaptable. Farmers, the research that should be farmer-led or farmers should be. And also the curriculum, both at university and the lower school levels, should touch the current trends.
Thank you so much. I think one of the lessons was that because of low uptake, it is a sign of lack of adequate extension services. And so if they are there, we should be able to see farmers take up new practices, new technologies, much more. Thank you for your point. Can we swing to this side? Or?
Okay, so for us, our table was the ratio of farmer households 1 to 100, which makes it really impossible for the external worker to all those households. So there is need to adopt platforms to help bridge that.
Okay, thank you so much. The ratio, 1 extension worker to 2,000 farmers is a challenge. But remember, that may not involve private sector and civil society. So the number could improve. But thanks for your point, and that we can leverage digital technology to reach more. Yes, our sister, and then we shall swing to this end.
Thank you. My group, we discussed the importance of men and boys' engagement in increasing cultural productivity, especially making joint decisions at household level to share resources, but also the benefits.
Okay, thank you for the lesson learned. Over here, please. Thank you.
Good morning to you all. For us, on our table, we learned that from the statistics we saw yesterday, we saw that the youth and women contribute a lot when it comes to agriculture in Uganda. So we learned that they need to be involved in what we do, and as extension workers, we really need to look out for them and include them in when we are offering services to ensure that they are empowered to even do better for better productivity and so that they can even produce better. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I like that part on what we must do. And in fact, as I close, is there a group whose point speaks towards what we can do? Yes, it's a lesson, but it involves what we must do. I will give two tables. What we can do over there and behind. It has to be about what we must do. Yes, that. Eh? Who is speaking? Yes, you can give to him.
Yeah, lesson learned. My name is Joseph Abesiga.
Is it lesson learned or action to be taken?
Action to be taken. Yes. But let me first begin with the lesson learned. The lesson was that food safety is still compromised with in our communities, and the way forward is we as extension workers or people who deal in agriculture or agro-processing and within that field, we are supposed to put more emphasis on food safety. We shouldn't leave it for the government only, but even the private sector, we should put more emphasis on food safety.
Thank you so much that we should interest ourselves not only in production messages, but also in food safety. Of course, we also talk about market and other information that is equally important. That is the last one.
Okay. Thank you so much. My name is Kenneth Mwanja from Bujiri. This is one of the key points we came up with as a group.
And does it also involve action?
Yes. We said with extension, we need to go in for single spine. We need to practice single spine extension. Let us not bring in blame games and so on. Both private and public extension team should work together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Before I close, could you write down, you as you now, one thing that you're going to do differently, one thing that you want to do differently? Just a minute. I'm giving you a minute, then we will move on to the next session. One thing, one action. Okay, let me call it action. And write it for yourself. And then we will also be picking it for our records. Make sure you stay with the copy. What one action would you challenge yourself after this meeting? One of you could say, like Dr. Isiko challenged us, about packaging our extension services. So what one action you plan to do? Please help me. I know it looks a bit like it's a class, but it's just to challenge ourselves, you know. What one action you plan to do differently as an extension worker, given the challenge, the way we were challenged yesterday, the information we received yesterday? What are you going to stretch yourself to do better? One thing only, write it down. We want to pick it. And I'm giving you 1 minute. One, challenge yourself to write it down. I'm also going to write down. Thank you so much. I will request MTs and others. Where's Mukulu Owanyi? Okay, he's also writing his point. And Madam Irene, please, let's harvest both the group work and also the individual. You have some, eh? Individual. So as they come to you, what I will encourage you, write it hand in, but stay with the copy. Hand in and stay with your own personal copy. I've also written mine down here. Do you want to know what I've written? Okay, maybe later. I've written for myself something I want to contribute to. Okay. As you hand in, let us all say to each other, Asante sana. Asante sana. Yongeza tena. Thank you so much. It is 35 minutes or 25 minutes to 10 o'clock. Before I invite the next speaker, I want to welcome those of you who have just joined us. especially if you have just joined us today. Could you please stand up for recognition, a very brief recognition, if you are not here in the early morning and you just reported today. Anyone who has just reported today and you came in, welcome, very much welcome, very much welcome. Each of you, very, very much welcome. And also we want to recognize the chief administrative officers. They are, and I know they are the chief accountants. And they're the one who put money into extension. We are so pleased that you are here. Could you please stand up for recognition? Chief administrative officers here present, please kindly stand up. Hey, one powerful lady, please let's celebrate her with a hand clap. Thank you for joining us. Which district do you come from? Gegegwa. Powerfully represented. Thank you for joining us. And we hope, Madam, you will really advocate for extension in Chegegwa in a big way. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce someone who is very special. He is going to speak on behalf of RUFORUM. RUFORUM is Regional Universities Forum for Agricultural Universities, and he will come and clean it out well. Please, Mukulu Okalanyi, don't subtract marks from me there. But it's a forum that brings together agricultural universities across Africa. They've joined us today, and we really want to appreciate them for the support. And they've sponsored a number of people to come and be part of this. And they are very willing even to continue to work with UFAS. Can we give RUFORUM an asante sana? Asante sana. And yongeza tena. Okay. So with that, let's exercise as Madame Connie, was it Connie? No, Brenda taught us that when the presenter is coming, we give them energy. We celebrate them, that they start on a strong note. So, yeah, please welcome with me Professor Duncan Ongeng. I hope I've said it well, to come and give us his presentation. A very unique one. Can we stand up and just encourage him? You're welcome. Thank you, people. That is all for you, sir.
The organizers of this meeting, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Duncan Ongeng. I come from Gulu University. I am here to talk on behalf of RUFORUM. RUFORUM is a consortium of 175 universities across Africa in 40 countries. So as part of that consortium, we deliver our mandates as a unit. So in this talk, I will present to you some lessons from Gulu University that might inform extension. Because we as a university, we deal with young people. And therefore, this presentation will largely be on young people because they are the future. Now, as a background, globally, we have what I would call the youth dividend. And in Africa, it's quite more evident than elsewhere. Now, these people are very energetic, and therefore, if we make good use of them, they can
really drive sustainable development in our countries. Now, what is now known is that a huge fraction of these people are neither in school nor in work. So what do we do with them? What do we do with them? We have seen several consequences. When you watch the news over Europe, there are a lot of discussions on African migrants. These are young people. Locally in the continent here, they are a source of problems. And here in Uganda, we know that one very well. The question here is now, how are we as universities positioned to try to deal with that? Everywhere these days, we're talking about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. And the agricultural sector, which employs, theoretically of course, a huge fraction of the population, ranging from about 50% to 80%, is that there's a possibility that if we turn things around, we should be able to make these young people make agriculture work for themselves and for the society. Now, since time immemorial, young people are not interested in this because they believe they cannot make any profitable business out of agriculture. In other words, for them it's just exercise, but there's not much money in it. So the question is, how are we as universities positioned to help this out so that we also make extension more useful and interesting for the extension agents? There are two scenarios which has occurred over time. Is that almost all universities now teach entrepreneurship. But however, there are two things, or there's a dichotomy. There is teaching about entrepreneurship, where the students have to memorize the characteristics, how does this person look like? And after passing the exams, the students goes home, there's nothing. Then there is another element, which is mentorship for entrepreneurship. And I will go for the second one. The lessons from Gulu University. Now, one thing which is very clear is that people want money. And therefore, they highly recognize what I would call the power of money arithmetic. That is when young people will believe us that when you go into agriculture, you are able to live a better life. So since our inception as a university and working with the Youth Forum, we came up with this model to make young people scan the environment and find business opportunities. These business opportunities must be experimented. Practical entrepreneurial capacity building. And then, if it makes business sense, that is what you promote in the society. Young people cannot be in all segments. There are segments which they would prefer, from primary production, transportation, value addition, up to the table. So where do they make better business sense? Everybody knows that in the agricultural sector, more money is downstream. Downstream. But our extension has largely focused on the soil level. I was over here yesterday. I may not meaningfully. I could give some examples here. These are the students, the graduates that came out of the entrepreneurship training program. One of the key problems, challenges that the young people face is access to finance. access to finance. And this has been debated for over a very long period of time. With our practical entrepreneurship capacity building, via the student enterprise scheme, students are able to do the business, make money, pay back our seed funding, and whatever remains, they go home with. And these are examples of the students that went home with the profits. And you can see that from about 5 million shillings, somebody has grown the business to a level of about 40,000 US dollars. So in the middle is about 50,000 US dollars, and it was about 30,000 US dollars. I believe such graduates are now bankable and are now able to go into everything that they would like to do. Now, normally for extension be useful, the students need to appreciate the environment where extension is practiced. In Uganda, education has become very expensive. And you only find the sons and daughters of the well-to-do that are able to access university education. But if you ask them, where do they live? They're always in town. And they have very limited understanding of the rural environment where agriculture is practiced. So to position them to be better extension officers or agents, we need to expose them to the realities of life. So that somebody doesn't go with very long nails, things like that, one don't appreciate. So with this model, we are able to expose the students the actual life of agriculture. There are two things here. One, a professor came from town, knows much about the p-values, but there's a lot of indigenous knowledge in the society which may not be put on the blackboard. And therefore, by exposing the students to the real life, they're able to have what I would call a hybrid characteristics. Indigenous knowledge plus the scientific knowledge you get from classroom. Now, when I started at university, we were doing agricultural entrepreneurship theoretically up to about 2015. So we carried out a tracer study. And the results are very interesting. On the right, we observed that less than 2% of the graduates were into agricultural entrepreneurship. They were largely going into formal employment, employed by NGOs, government, things like that. Now, when we move now into more practical entrepreneurial capacity building, you see that the proportion increased now to 18%, which is above the global average of about less than 2%. And we believe with this that practical entrepreneurship capacity building is key in making young people believe in agriculture and should be able to make money from agriculture. Now, we took a look at the segments where the young people want to be involved in. You will see that the blue is value addition. Young people are more interested in the value addition. And then a significant fraction of about 20% are interested in the primary production, but where? In the horticultural chains. Not maize, not sunflower, not sorghum, but the vegetable chains. Now, if we are to zoom further, to find out in agricultural areas, where do the graduates, what do they view, participation in the value addition sector of the economy? You see that up to 80% are They believe that that is where life is, not the primary production. This has got an implication. First of all, in the development of agricultural economy, one of the problems that the farmers have faced is lack of market. And Uganda as a country, investment in value addition is very limited. And therefore it means the farmers have got limited access to diverse markets. So that means here, the young people are beginning to think that direction and providing alternative solution. We also ask them, if you want to get employed in this value addition sector, what motivates you? And there are several of those things. And the other one is what? Better economic outlook. You already know that there is now more money in the value addition sector of the economy, agricultural economy, than in prime production. And that's what they want to do. That has got an implication on extension. We have the majority of the population being young people. So now, are we only going to focus on prime production as we have been doing before, or we have to evolve? And in terms of interest, we have seen that up to 80% of these people are interested in value addition. As I conclude, what you have seen is that practical entrepreneurial capacity building has got potential to make young people earn money and believe in agriculture. However, there's a very strong preference for value addition and cultural change. Now, this has got an implication on targeting extension. We want to deal with the young people. We are not going to tell them to grow sorghum. Even if you form them into groups, they may not. But however, to be able to take advantage of this, we might need to have some institutional and system change for impact. Starting from the Ministry of Agriculture itself, down to local governments. Because whereas the young people are talking about value addition, when you go to the districts, nobody talks about that. And yet, with the rural electrification in Uganda, there is now the avenue to make them participate in that one effectively. With these lessons, what we are now moving into is that we have been dealing with the university students, actual students, but we have a huge population of out of school. There are those who are in TVETs and also the refugees. So that we are now moving into creating what we call the young people entrepreneurial ecosystem to be able to make them be very vibrant in the agricultural economy. And with that, we are now have a new program, working together with the Forum and at top universities in Africa, to create what we call Agri-Food Systems Research and Entrepreneurship Center. The research could produce results that inform businesses of young people. And with this, we would be reaching out to the stakeholders to come and help us work this out, so that we make our young people more vibrant and they make agriculture useful for the country. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Asante sana. Kuongeza tena later. Meantime, I also have a presentation. I'm going to use maybe like 10 minutes. Apologies for that. Another honest apology. I went somewhere. Actually, I ran to my office yesterday and then forgot my power cable there. But I had a power presentation. I see I may not have another chance, yet I put in good time to prepare. But I'll share offhand some of the thoughts that I had around viable and effective agriculture extension and advisory services in a dynamic market-oriented agriculture sector. So please allow me, listen to me. It's not as structured as I'd planned, but I had some thoughts which are still in my mind. I think I would have followed better when the computer is on. Maybe I can show you the type of computer I have. One of you may have the kind of cable that I need. Frank, the bag there on the side. It's a MacBook. Guys, you know, the MacBook tend to have anyone who can no, maybe you're type C. Okay, you can help. Thanks. Check it out, and if it works, that would be great. Okay. So just a minute as we set up, and my Frank here will be assisting to move the slides. Well, thank you again. I'm going to do this. Look at you and also up here. Next slide, please. So this is about valuable, effective AES for a dynamic, market-oriented agriculture sector. And for me, the question was about how do we make extension have maybe economic sense and recognizable. Can move on again. So just to say, we know that agriculture is a dominant economic contributor, and Uganda looks at it as a growth opportunity. And for many years, in our national planning plans, they've always pointed to agriculture, including increasing production, market access, and value addition. And even in the upcoming plan, what we call NDP 4, again, agriculture is being brought in. However, the sector, as all of us will appreciate, requires a lot of changes and improvements from time to time. Next, please. I also want to remind us that we have a vision of a transformed society from a peasant to a modern, prosperous country. Now, for me, when they mention the word peasant, I quickly go to the farmer as the peasant. So our planners want to see us move away from being peasant farmers to a prosperous economy. And there are two things that they've planned to help us to achieve that vision. Apparently, the first one is about agro-industrialization, where the whole countryside will be full of agro-industries. We are producing value-added products for Ugandans to consume, but also for regional markets also, as well as international markets to consume. That we have more money coming in, we can live better from increased incomes. Now, also please remember that we still have 39% of Ugandans considered living below the poverty line. And so government again has wanted to pick them up, and in that process, also presenting agriculture. So agriculture for agro-industrialization, and then agriculture for helping people get out of poverty, which means that there's going to be a lot of concerted investment to make sure we achieve these goals. And there's a lot of work for us in extension, certainly research, and in many, many other fields. I should also mention, thank you, that certainly you all know that we've moved away from just emphasizing produce more. We've had stories where people were told to grow moringa and there was no market to sell it. Stories where people have been told to grow maize and there's no market to sell it. So right now, personally, I believe markets first. Any project that I do, I want to first of all be sure there is a market before I tell farmers to do anything or even invest into technology that I might be promoting. Now, what that means that now we have to think, all of us, across the entire value chain. Next, please. And so we have to think about inputs, farm inputs. I know this is, to you it is relatable. We have to think about the farm production or operations. We have to think about any value addition. In this case, we are producing milk and beef. You have to think about marketing and consumption. Next. You also have to, we need to be reminded that despite government opening up, expand availability of extension services to help us with those new demands. Because now extension has not only to look at production. Please, if it's possible with you and you have market-oriented farmers, think about market first and then introduce all your technologies. Make sure you've secured the market. And now, but I also bear in mind that we have what we call food security farmers, isn't it? Those ones you don't have to ask about the market. Please look at what they are producing, help them produce more. But we must also recognize, just back a little bit, that government therefore has opened up for both public and private sector to do extension along the value chain. However, despite that opening up, the reach to farmers has not yet improved that much. We have 3 to 5 million smallholder farmers, but they say that only 3% of whom are commercial. But they also say that out of these 3 to 5 million, we are only reaching between 10 and 20%. So the rest are living life without really concerted extension guidance. Maybe nowadays on social media and stuff. We know the farmer ratio 1 to 2,000. Some people talk about 1 to 1,800. So we still have a situation of limited access to information, technology, agribusiness services, and we still therefore have a continuous cycle of low production, low productivity, low market participation in some areas. There are some areas who have moved away from that. You find that they are putting a lot of effort in their production systems. They're really market-oriented, except that for some of those, again, household nutrition is down because everything is for sale, and that too becomes an extension message of concern. So, yet, the agricultural market space, so the demand for food, has become more dynamic. Demand for food, demand for fiber, but also the operations required are so dynamic in this way. One, globalization. Of course, I'm not saying this in a wrong way, but globalization has opened the borders. You can see trucks from countries around, even in the villages there, because of globalization. That means our farmers and all of us are in this dynamic as well, because now we are competing both with neighbors, countries from China, Pakistan, and wherever, because they're free to bring their goods here as much as we're free to sell to them. That's a dynamic. Another dynamic is the value chains are increasing. Right now, NADS, which is, by the way, represented up here, please make sure you visit their booth, are promoting macadamia, they're promoting avocado. There's a lot of effort on oil seed. So what I'm talking about here is that the crops and livestock which require new attention have also expanded. Besides that, urbanization, the whole country is being urbanized, isn't it? So again, that's a dynamic. Another dynamic, export requirements are becoming stricter. We have a representative from UCDA. She may stand again for recognition. Asante sana for coming. She will be sharing about the European Union deforestation regulation, where we are no longer supposed to export coffee to Europe from a farm or a place that was originally a forest. Now, while people are complaining that government is taking away UCDA, there's also pressure from EU for us not to sell. That's another dynamic. There's also a dynamic where it comes to increased access to information and misinformation. That's a dynamic. Climate change is a dynamic. Reducing land sizes is a dynamic. Inflation is a dynamic. Wars are a dynamic. The push for agri-systems Professor has talked about agri-food system. Do you people know what agri-food system is? Believe you do in some way. They are saying, let us think now as extension workers, what happens from the farm, what people eat. That's why Professor Kaya was here. We must interest ourselves in that. So thinking about all that is a dynamic. Government policies that are changing and coming up is also another dynamic. So what does this mean next? Means that, next, sir? That the demand for quality and impactful agriculture extension and advisory services is important. I think we need to specialize almost the way Dr. Isiko judged himself and repackaged himself. I will need more specialized services moving forward. Now, that diagram there, first of all, shows that there's a flow of market information about orders and preferences, and I know people behind may not be able to see, but the arrow moving from your right to the left shows that as extension workers, we must know what the market needs. Mr. Mayambala here, I believe he is. Can he stand up for recognition? Okay, he has stepped out. Talks about, as an extension worker, think about backward linkages, meaning where is this crop going to be sold, so that I receive that information and guide the farmer. Then after that, the opposite of backward is what? Then think about send now the seed, the technologies, and produce. So we must be educated about the information across all those stages, what is required at retail, at processing, at transport, producers' inputs, but then also we push by sending the right products. Next. So given all of that, how do we enhance the value of extension advisory services in a market-oriented situation? So I have 3 ideas. One of them is that let's ensure that we are visible. Can you say with me, visible? Okay, so when I come in front before you, I must make sure that I'm dressed smart. But today I don't think I'm dressed to kill. Sometimes I want to dress to kill. Just joking. Some of you are good at that, so that you are visible and presentable. Okay? So colleagues, on a serious note, how do we enhance? 1, we need to make extension what? Visible. And that maybe will solve the problem of the way we are being looked at as maybe dispensable, and people don't appreciate our value. The second thing is that, what is the second point? Help me, please. We must provide evidence. Must provide evidence that we are doing something. And I want to salute the ministry, which introduced first of all, there was a diary on paper, which moved on to the e-diary. I remember finding an extension worker asking people to sign to prove that he had visited them. I think that's important evidence, though sometimes it's not easy to start getting used to. But we need evidence that will deal with the threat of being regarded as dispensable. You'll have evidence that have reached 1,000 people. You'll have evidence that they've changed from point A to B or to Z. And it will also deal with the problem of lack of data. People don't want to support extension. They are tossing it around because we do not have data. But I tend to think that some organizations here have the data. That data is not being shared. Those stories are not being shared. Now the last point, can we read the last point together, number 3? I'm not so much wired for business, but I think I need to push myself. Some of you are. I think let's try and be more entrepreneurial. That too might enhance our visibility, our relevance, the way Dr. Isiko challenged us. And we have no choice. We have to do these three, or at least 2 out of the 3, or 1 out of the 3. You and I have no choice. You think we have a choice? I don't think so. Next, please. So when it comes to making your AES visible, we must now get used to documenting and publicizing. How many of you are on X, former Twitter? Please raise your hand. Now, people, there's no lunch today until you are on Twitter. Please help me do that. Why? It's one of the channels for making yourself visible. May I ask again, how many of you seriously are on WhatsApp? Don't fear. We are just brothers. Okay, that's good. Before the day ends, don't send pictures of dancing babies, what. Send the pictures that I'm in the extension week. Are we together? I think also we sent some links of pictures. Also, send it to your friends. Tell the cameraman, take a picture of me. There's something Liz designed. Where is it? It shows that sending the extension, make yourself visible. Even pictures there with your farmers. Are we together? That's making yourself visible. Number 2, you can even collect voices of farmers who are talking about the transformation you've contributed to them. Okay? You can also, of course, use social media, as I've mentioned. We have a culture nowadays that we have started. We must bring the media houses. If we do not, no one will know. You see that? Okay, so you should have your picture now. Cameraman, can you take some? Each of you must pose in that thing before lunch, or at least before end of Friday, okay? And send home. Send it to your cow. Send to your bosses. Last night I sent to my people back at Makere, tell them that I'm here. So promote and reward based on levels of publicity. Madam Cow, I want to say, don't give them allowance until they've shown that they are visible. Okay, they are in the local news, local radio, posters, newspapers around. We must be visible. That's a proposal subject to council. Then next, please. You can also go to radio, television. In terms of evidence, before agriculture extension or advisory service provision, before you start your service, I'm proposing, first of all, determine, does the farmer have what it takes to farm? I know this is extra work. Sometimes we assume that by giving an idea or a practice to farmer, the conditions for farming are there, but are they always there? Don't they put your seedlings on the side and they dry up or eat the seeds? I'm suggesting that maybe we could take an extra effort and say, Dr. Miro, before I farm, yes, it is not. If you can tell me, then go and buy this and this that you are prepared. If I'm totally unable, then give me guidance based on where I am and with what I have. Then the second point, advise on how the factors that can be accessed, I mean what they need to produce, you can advise. Number 3, have performance indicators for extension work, including the conditions to ensure your work is done properly. If you go to do extension and there is no fuel, there is no seeds, you say, Madam Cow, I did my work, but this and this were not available. Let it be on record and in data. I'm just proposing, because that's evidence. Other than people accusing you that you didn't do your work, yet certain conditions. Just like the farmer has to have seed, you too have to have certain things in. Are we still together? The last bullet is deliver extension service based on established performance indicators and working conditions. Those of you who employ us, give us performance indicators, but also give us the tools and resources we need. Don't give us what to do without working conditions. Next, about finish. Package evidence for institution and district planning. All that information should help in decision making. By the way, we are talking about data-driven decision making. Data. Say with me, data. That's why we are going to have to use even AI, because it can help you know where you were, what you did at the end of the day. And you have data. So, aim at showing the contribution of extension. If someone is eating 3 meals a day, can we map out what your contribution was to that output? Review and evaluate performance. We must always evaluate ourselves. What is not evaluated will never improve. Can I hear you say that again? So don't fear to be evaluated. You should also not fear. Then also discuss the reasons for why you did very well and reasons why you did not do so well. Adjust accordingly and reward good performance. Madam Cow, reward good performance. Reward good performance. Next, and I think that's the last. This one I didn't think a lot, but I just brought Dr. Isiko's picture to remind you that we can be business-oriented, and that will make extension visible. Forgive me, I now have taken a little bit of time. That's the end of my story. It's now 23 past, and supposed to tell people where to go. Could I ask the following people to stand up? Cyrus Mwesigwa, I think you are going to be our facilitator. I'll get you. You are going to be the facilitator, sir. Sorry, I'm the one who has suggested this from here. For this session on vibe extension that will add more to this, okay? I've shared. Madam CEO, did you want us to talk more about the side event or the side event? You want to say something? Or I tell them to say something? Okay. But I have only a few minutes, so make it quick. Let's welcome her. You don't...
Thank you very much. Our chairperson for academia, Temiro has passion for having academia in extension. Everyone. Okay. So we have two things. From here, we are going to separate to go to places. And from now, you have heard, from yesterday to now, you've heard what the different sessions. Each person has this? Okay. I'm on page 16. Today is page 16. And we are talking about a session after break. Doctor, thank you so much for that, because yesterday we missed out on the overview for theme one, for sub-theme 1. And I think he has given it well, and I was thinking, I don't think he has actually provided even discussion points for that theme. The three, if we discuss them, I think will be there. Madam Jennifer, you are welcome. Then we are going to separate into the valuable. Yesterday we had the overview on all this, except on We also had women and what? Women and, no, all the way up to 5. And I'm sure by now, from the overview, you know where you want to go. But of course, we need, I don't know how we'll do it. We don't want like the whole 200 people are going to AES, or 100 people are going to women and youth, because the capacity of the rooms there, and each session at least should have. What I'm advising, I know that I've already talked to my team. We have a team here of woofers from the field, about 50 people, and they have to divide themselves. Because at the end of the day, we want a report on each of them. So I don't want to hear that all the people went to one session. I'll ask the master trainers, they are 5, the good thing, and they should be in it. The good thing that some of them, they are whatever. So even care, I'm thinking you divide your team accordingly, and any other person who is here, so that we don't have one, I've talked to Vola Madagascar. She said they are going to divide themselves because we want to harvest. We came here to harvest from each of the thing, which we selected for this year, and we think it's very important for extension workers. Okay? So please divide yourself. Even if you have like Pelham is in agroecology, I'm sure your people, they also need to harvest something from extension, something from food security, food safety, and like that, okay? We want about 40 people, maximum of 40 people per session, yeah, okay? Another thing is, after that we have, when we listen to that, I'm sure, I think the panel discussion, they have discussed a person. Then we'll have break again for the what? For the side events. We were thinking of the view that we get a very small pitch about each of those side events. If Pelham is doing a side event, we want to give them like 2-3 minutes, 1 minute, I'm told 1 minute, to talk about what you are going to have in your side event, so that I make a decision, okay? You are going to market, actually, it's a pitch. But again, when it comes to those, if you are not one of those organizations which are doing the side events, still divide your people, okay? Even us, by the way, AFAS, WOOFAS we have, but we want people to go to the different ones and learn, and because at times, like for us, we have just said like access agriculture. If you have our people to go there, they will be bored because they know everything, okay? So we have Pelham. Pelham, who is here? Is Pelham here? They are not yet here? Okay, Pelham is there. Where is Kirimo? Please come. Where's AFAS? Extension on private extension. And where's the agroecology? We said, I don't know whom did we pick for WOOFAS. Ezra, who is pitching for us? You are pitching agroecology? Hey, let you come.
Sorry, thank you so much. I'm watching the time.
As for the power sessions, we have boardroom. For the first workshop, the one on valuable extension, we are going to boardroom 1, called boardroom. Not a small boardroom, but then number two, that is resilience, you are going to Muyenga 2, it is this end. Go out, go up. Upstairs, you either go the stairs or you take a lift, okay? Then challenges on food safety and agro-export, you are going to penthouse. Penthouse is on the other side. When you cross the dining, you go up. But you can also ask penthouse. And then private sector is going to Muyenga 3. Muyenga 3 is this side. And lastly, women and youth. That one we have changed. We have had to change because I think Muyenga 1 were told that it was given out yesterday. So we are going to. No, we are going to. Yeah, we are staying here. Okay, women and youth are staying here. And then also for the rooms, in the afternoon, resilience will go to, wow, okay. We have Chirimo, let me correct it.
Okay. Please bear with us as we organize and reorganize. Right now, I want to welcome, come and give us, though Madame Beatrice has said, don't to be, not to go to Chilimo, but let him share with us what we're expecting.
Thank you, sir, for welcome. Profession, you are most welcome. I am program office, Keynote. I am Henry Galiwango, program office, Keynote Trust. And we are really happy that you assigned to us sub-theme 5, which is looking at women and youth, urging digitization, era. We think this is a crucial domain, especially where we are today, and we really welcome you. We are implementing a project in Eastern Uganda. It's called AgriPath, and we are looking at the use of digital advisories to reach out to farmers. I'm really happy yesterday these things came up, and so we think because of the power of the phone or the power of the IoT, we can reach out to farmers. Yeah. So I'm really happy you're giving us this place. So colleagues, we have 5 sub-themes. So, well, whereas others will be going to other sub-themes, we welcome those who have a bias or who have interest in the ag digitization domain. Please stay with us here. We want to share more on what we've been doing. It's coming to pick the microphone on what we've been doing, and also for you to be able to give us some of your views. At the end of the day, we want to, even if it's just a policy paper, on what we really think should work out well to bring the boys, the girls, the women, etc. In the era of the IoT, in the era of telephony, etc. So please, you're most welcome. I have my colleague there, Brigitta. Just stand up for recognition. That lady funded this event. She works with the Grameen Foundation. We are here and we are able to attend because of her. Thank you so much.
Staying here.
I think, Mr. Galiwango, you've mixed up that. What do people expect to get in your side event, which we are not yet sure whether you are here or not? The Paro session, they are here. We want people to market, because in this Paro session, their paper is going to be from other people. Maybe your paper is one of them, but the Paro session is for the papers and the case stories to be presented, and you are facilitating. Now, in the afternoon is where I want you to market for people to.
Thank you. He has assured me that it will be the same focus. So again, please don't all go to digital. As we've been cautioned, also redistribute accordingly. I hadn't saluted our patron. We are glad you are here. Again, thank you so much. We feel encouraged by your presence. Wait, Pelam. Okay, as Pelam is coming, this is Gipi Sayep. 1 minute.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. UFAS is implementing a GPSAP project in 5 districts, and we are reaching over 3,000 farmers. GPSAP is an agroecology project, which is a bottom-up approach. And currently, we are now having over 3,000 farmers in different districts of the country, in the different regions or hubs. So we have different partners that success agriculture, and our approaches engage showing videos to farmers in their local language with smart projectors that doesn't require one to have power. So we just invite you into our session after breakfast. We also have partners like YPAD, where we have a activities on agroecology being done in the rural farmers. So we want to welcome you. By the way, we also have a cafe for YPAD. You come and see how it operates. I forgot about it. You come and see how a cafe operates for the YPAD in particular. And we see how we are engaging different farmers from different regions of the country in their local languages, centralized from here.
Thank you so much for time. And again, we should all not go to agroecology as much as it sounds very attractive, okay? Where is Pelam, please? Pelam? And by the way, was that a side invite or after lunch? Okay. The emphasis is the side invite. Pelam, AFAS, private sector. Our very own keynote speaker is in charge of this. You're welcome, Dr. Lillian.
Auditor, I am. Somebody told me to try to talk slowly. Okay. This afternoon, we're having the private sector-led approaches. Over the years, we have kept on talking about how extension is not fair. But we are going beyond remaining to complain to look at how best can we do extension, making it business-oriented, so that even that extension service provider will not just be talking about extension that is dead, extension that has no funds, but you become entrepreneurial. And that's what we are going to discuss in the afternoon, to identify the approaches, the models that we use, and we're having demonstration of existing models that people, the young people, have come from the ground, and they have been empowered to make extension entrepreneurial, market-oriented, people to demand and pay the services because of what you are providing.
Okay, again, I know all of us may want to become entrepreneur, business. Let's not all end up there, though it sounds very attractive, okay? We'll distribute ourselves. Lastly, Pelam, please. Where is Pelam? Pelam, come and talk about your side event. Are you here? The PESA model. Is it the PESA model? Who knows about the PESA model? Can come and pitch for Pelam. All right. Please come quickly, sir. Come and be Pelam. Can pass there. Welcome. Your name?
I'm Kifutuko Emmanuel. I'm from Iganga. I'm a farmer and a PESA model practitioner. We welcome you to our room where you'll get exposed to how farmers can be the drivers of the marketing, pesa marketing model, which begins with synthesizing the entire value chain, right from inception of the idea, cost-benefit analysis, market research, and knowing all the dynamics in the different markets that you are intending to sell your produce before you go into the production. So we all welcome you to come and be taken through the process. Thank you. Yes, Peram. Thank you.
Very powerful. The farmer to talk value chain is very powerful. Talk cost benefit is very powerful. To talk market research is really powerful. Again, please don't all end up in Pelham, as much as it's very attractive. Thank you, sir. Let's again redistribute ourselves. It's time for coffee. Please, I don't know, we could even have made it working coffee, but make it quick because we have run a little behind. Our chairperson of the technical working group, Madam, I think first team is going to be looking at viable and effective extension in a dynamic market-oriented agriculture sector. The second one is on resilience. The third one is on food safety and agro-trade. The fourth one is on private sector extension. And the last one is on women and youth. Wish you the best. By the way, I like the focus. Can we asante sana to each other? Asante sana. And yongeza tena, which means add some more. If you can keep this focus even in the side room, don't worry, we shall have a gala where you shall now relax. Brenda might even be back to show us the strokes she promised. And so I wish you well. Have a good break. I think 30 minutes given the numbers. But let's also be quick. And those of you who are handling the next workshops, please also take charge. Make sure people register when they are there and have a good time together. See you. Now, forgive me, and please don't go away. I think we have a small challenge. Please don't go. This is very important. Look at me as I share. Tomorrow, we are making field visits. We totally and sincerely apologize that there is a little bit of, we are lagging behind in terms of registering who is interested to go where. For that reason, it has come to my mind. I'll just, in the program booklet that you have, okay, there is a page, I think at the end of the booklet, there are several pages that describe the sites we are going to visit. Okay? Starting on page 18, please kindly interest yourself. I'm not going to take again more time because we are time bound, but behind time. Help me interest yourself and choose where you're going to go. We will be coming around with the registration, but once the number hits 30, we'll stop registering for that site, okay? So again, that's something we are going to try and follow up with you in the rooms where you shall be this mid-morning and afternoon. I hope that's okay, that the site, the field sites where you are going to go, the details are on page 18 and 19. Again, choose where you would like to go, that when the registration starts, you will be indicating where you will be going. We shall be departing from here tomorrow at 8. Be ready at 8. Everything else shall be organized, including your lunch and so on. Thank you so much. see you, I guess, in the gala and also on Friday morning. Please don't miss returning on Friday morning. It's also a day where in the end we shall have the annual general meeting. Can you say it together? Please help me. Annual general meeting. It is a voting time. People who want to stand for office on the board of UFAS are welcome to stand and volunteer themselves. And we need you to be there to vote them in office. Thank you for your time. Wish you a good break. Please, facilitators, we shall encourage you to rally people to your rooms. Encourage them to come to your rooms. Thank you. Because Friday morning we shall be here again from 8 and to close the extension week and to be followed then by the AGM. Thank you.
Hello? Hello? I'm hearing that we are a bit confused about where are we going. Now we are going for the parallel session. Look at your program of the day 2. We are going for the parallel sessions, not for the side events. Am I clear? We are going for the parallel sessions, and I want the people who are going to lead your people. Where is the lead for the first theme, second theme, third theme, and the only thing I expect that to ask where are the rooms. But I said, if anything to do with Muyenga is this side. Anything to do with penthouse and boardroom is beyond the dining. And anything to do with the the ballroom, whatever. And we said the only people who are staying here is women and youth. That Muyenga too, they have started resilience. So whoever is going for resilience, please
right word, our parallels and you. I am facilitating. I kindly request that started it very and a video are running at the front by the front seats, please. Let me request us to move to the front seats, please. In about 1 minute. Okay, so in this parallel session, we will be having some presentations from 3 institutions that I will introduce briefly, and then I will also pass the mic to them to introduce themselves. And the reason why we are having this session is the fact that we can no longer ignore the new innovations that are coming in the agriculture sector and how they are impacting the way we are doing our work as extensionists or as extension service deliverers in the different areas where we come from. And therefore, this session ties in very well with this year's theme for the National Agriculture Extension Week for this year. And the plan for us is later on, we will also be sharing what our experiences as Kilimo Trust are in actually moving forward the agenda on ICT for ag. So without very many words from my side, I would like to invite my panelists. There are 3 of them. We have somebody from FRI, and they will be talking to us about artificial intelligence. What is the empowering, how is this empowering women and youth in the agri-food system? We will also have another presentation from BUZA, and they will be telling us about how to enhance agro-extension through digital extension, a case of the call center facility that they are managing. Last but not least, we will look at the Limisa and how this Limisa is empowering rural women and youth through mobile telephony. Then we will have a question and answer session and key takeaways. So this is how we are going to run. Because of the shortness of time, we will request our panelists, one after the other, the way I've read them, to make their presentations, and we will request you to please make your comments or questions that you might have from the presentations. And what we will do during the question and answer session, we will be going around the room to pick those comments and question and answer sessions, and please label who you are directing the question to. So that's the way we shall run through this session before we break for lunch. So let me invite the first presenter from FRI. All right, so they have agreed that BUZA comes first. So please have all your questions ready about the farmer call center that BUZA is managing. And then we will go now to FRI and then finally to Limisa. So let me invite the first speaker to make their presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I expected a reply. My name is Samuel Waswa, Lugaizi, and I'm going to be presenting on the topic of enhancing agriculture extension through a farmer call center as a digital form of extension. Please allow me. That is my name. And Buza Farmer Call Center was established close to 5 years back. And we have so far worked and supported more than 200,000 farmers. And our services range from that: finance, agronomy, integrated pest management, integrated soil fertility management, conservation agriculture, market linkages, and weather forecast. How does Buza really work? The call center operates in this model. There is a farmer, there is the call center facility, and the areas where they can always inquire about. So the model is quite easy. When I entered the call center, I was also just a call center agent, but I've grown throughout the years, and I now head the customer experience department of a company called Cabral Tech Limited. So the model is that the farmer calls, and the call center, sorry, it's not Kilimo, but it's both the farmer's call center. They call in, and when they call in, they can ask about the different areas we address in the call center. And we believe that when we support them with agriculture advisory, with the forecast, equipment and services, market linkages, agriculture inputs, then we expect better yields. Putting better yields aside, as the professor has been speaking in the morning, he said it's not all about production, but also the market linkages. The farmer is always interested in where he's going to sell. So in the 5 years we've worked I've worked with Buza Farmers Call Center, we are able to also start another company called Imaisha Pay. Imaisha Pay is supporting farmers with agriculture finance, and we are also supporting farmers by buying the produce that they produce in the season. When we finance them on, depending on the memorandum of understanding we have with them, we can say it will be 1 acre. And when they produce, let's say sorghum, let's say beans, let's say maize, according to the MOU, we can say we shall buy your produce. Now, Imaisha Pay, which is a sister company to Cabral Tech, issues the farmer a financial card. It's like a bank card. And on that bank card, there are two accounts: a savings account and an inputs account. The savings account can be used by the farmer to save money daily. Saving, you save your money there. But on the inputs account, which is earmarked, you can only use the money we've loaned to you to buy inputs from registered agro inputs retailers. So we give these retailers a payment system where the customer who we have loaned can only go and access inputs. Why the call center is the best fit in agriculture digitalization, in my experience, there's a free access of information. That's why you see that in the beginning I showed you an old lady calling a toll-free number, and that toll-free number means that you, the customer who is calling, you don't need to pay any money. If you check on your tables today, I tried to place the toll-free number there. You can even try it out right now. It's toll-free. You don't need to have airtime on your phone. So you call, and the agents at the call center who are more of polyglots speak at least 2 or 3 languages. Personally, I speak 4 languages, but in the call center, I was able to also employ 7 other agents, and one of the ladies speaks more than 6 languages. So we've connected an interactive voice recording so that you can select the language you want, And when you select the language you want, then the call center agent replies in the language the farmer has selected. So the farmer can go on then to ask as very many questions as they want. And the call center agent, who is an agronomist by training, is supposed to answer to the farmer's needs. So, free access, multi-language support, and then the support for agronomy. Then we are also into partnerships and collaborations, as you see in coming slides. But you can also see that we do market linkages from our sister company, eMaishaPay. We are, first of all, marketing for the farmers, but in other cases, we can also buy from the farmers. Then through the call center model, you can also receive information about credit, insurance, and saving. So you can call in at any time and ask about financial literacy, and someone will be ready to take you through. And through this call center, we are able to collect data over the years, and that data led us to the starting of eMaishaPay. And if the farmer is using the eMaishaPay card, then they can have a financial history. If they're using the card to buy inputs, to buy the different things they're using at the farm, then they become bankable. So this information about financial literacy and market linkages is quite important. Then data insights, we track the needs and the future, we track the needs for future service improvements. And then there is agent training, ongoing agent training. That's why the call center is good that a question asked today to me as the head, and I fail to answer it, I'll put the farmer on hold, or even promise to call them back, go study about the same topic the person has been asking about, and then I get back to the customer with an answer. That makes this an online and ongoing education for support with accurate information for farmers. Then I can move on to enhancing connectivity and accessibility. You see, we are connecting farmers to extension offices, to extension agents. With this ratio you saw here, that 1 to 1,500, Professor Miro said 1,800, and then in one of the presentations I saw 1 to 2,000. Not all farmers can be supported directly, but if extension officers are put at the other side of the call center, and they can at least reduce on the number of calls and number of questions from the farmers, then we believe we can provide extension services to those people. It also works as a training for training resources. You can even train using the call center. Now the call center also has a department with messages, whereby if a customer has asked about a certain topic, then you can write a brief of whatever they have asked about, and you send it back to them in a message. But it also connects them to digital marketplaces. As I've already told you, eMaishaPay is here to support the digital marketplaces. But even when the farmers call in, 2 of the resources we provide is for us to look for online market, or even to send agents in the field, and they get to know of which company is buying, which company is doing this, and we can connect those farmers to the market. Now, the focus on women and youth. We believe these are the benefits to rural women and the youth. After using the call center, we expect improved agricultural productivity. We expect them to benefit from market access and income generation.
Samuel, as you wind.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Inclusivity to national development. You see, all the information we have ever collected in the call center has been summarized, and we've written reports we've shared with a few parastatals and few companies, and we've been and these are helping in guiding policy for digital extension. How the call center model also builds resilient and competitive agricultural food systems. Real-time information, you can now read that real-time information in weather forecast, market prices, and agronomy. Then inclusive access to markets. Then the empowerment through continuous training to ASTA district extension officers. And then enhanced market linkages. Opportunities for women and children include skill development, training in farmer techniques, so that if a farmer does not know about how to go about, so you can take them through how some techniques are done in the garden. Then there is also financial management and business skills. Through our financial literacy model in the call center, we can take them through financial management. Then entrepreneurship, encouraging agribusiness ventures. As we are buying from them, some of them are learning to become entrepreneurs. Then also a call center to the young women and youth. We are employing already eight people in the call center, so it's also an employment opportunity. These are the collaborations we've so far done. We have one with Kilimo Trust, who invited me here today. We've had a project with UNCDF. We've supported Bukola Chemical Industries. We have worked with CropLife Uganda. We have worked with agribusiness development. We've worked with Interswitch Uganda to give out the cards for Imaisha Pay. These are the collaborations and in fact the project highlights we've done. Impactful projects in Uganda include the scaling up of digital technologies for extension and agro-advisory and access to inputs and leveraging farmer call center. We did that project in 2020 in West Nile. Then we also did one with empowering smallholder farmers in Uganda through integrated digital solution. That's the one we are working with Farm Better currently. Then we also, there was also a project with raising awareness against counterfeit pesticides with CropLife Uganda. That's in 2022. And through Imaisha Pay, our sister company, we are financing farmer cooperatives in Eastern and Northern Uganda. And we've also provided customer care services for Bukola Chemical Industries. Future directions, we believe that we can employ through support maybe of some NGO, or through the growth of the call center, we can provide services to more regions of the country. Then we also believe in leveraging on technology. From the insights we collect on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, we believe that we can integrate other components of digital extension into the work we do. And then also strengthening partnerships. We believe in new collaborations. You are here and you think you can support us in any way, or you think we are important, you can also come. I'm at the table in front here, and we can talk about collaborations. Then the challenges, you see, after talking about all the good in using our call center facilities, these are some of the challenges we face. Common issues in digital extension include the low phone penetration amongst rural farmers. Chidimo Trust can testify to this. But during the UNCDF project we found out that at least every farmer household in Uganda has a phone. It might not be for the woman, it might not be for the youth, but at least the father in the household has a phone and they can use it. But it's a challenge that some women do not have phones. And also low literacy levels. As you've heard, in this call center model, the person is supposed to call and the IVR plays and then they select a language. Some people cannot even do that, just select a language. So we've started putting it on IVR, so as long as the person calls, the phone goes through, and when we listen to the language they are speaking, then we can transfer the call to the agent who can speak the language and support them. Then proposed solutions include strategies to improve service delivery, introduction of course units in digital extension, that is a curriculum review, at least for the academicians here. As we studied in Makere, I don't remember us touching anything about digital extension. That's around 6 years back when I graduated. this thing wasn't a thing in the digital, in the extension space. I expect that by the time we leave this place, maybe Dr. Miro, maybe one of the academicians can think of how they can incorporate that in what they teach. Then the embracing of digital research extension by other existing stakeholders. As you've seen, we're talking about this, but people have very many forms of, of extension they have taken up, and they end up not using the easier ones. So this is an easier model for use, and we ask extension officers and farmers here who can adopt it, please to take it on. Then maybe we can also subsidize on the prices of phones through some of the projects I've heard of the yellow phone that happened in, I think, in central Uganda, whereby in order for the farmers to access information, they might need to have phones at relatively low prices, so that this technology can also penetrate into the rural economy. Thank you very much for listening. I remain Waswa Samuel Lugaizi. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel, for taking us through the Farmer Call Center. You have now used the time also for the next speaker, because you used more than 20 minutes. Let me request FRI on the use of AI. The time is 10 minutes, so that we can give time for people to ask their questions, have a discussion, the parallel workshop, and we expect feedback from our participants. So over to you, Madam. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nakayenga Vice. Just go through the introduction. Many of you may think farm radio is not a radio station, a national NGO based in Canada for development. Old farm radio, it's because partners with radio across Africa, 38. Today I'm here to talk about how I've used our AI system to empower women and youth in a. So at the beginning of every project, we first conduct formative research, where we go to the field and find farmers what their preferred radio station, their knowledge gaps, and the preferred times. After that is done, we select a radio stations that are chosen, times of programs. Once that is done, after the radio station, then we get the maps, we get the map average of radio station, incorporated system that we can help us actually know you're reaching the targeted audience. After that is done, I don't know if I'm rushing, but time. After radio stations have been